What's up, everybody? Sean here with another live to roll. Just kind of a hangout, open discussion Q and A. We got our friend David here joining us, and then Bobby should be joining in a little bit. He just was busy right now, taking care of a few things, so he should be popping on in just a little bit here. But yeah, we'll get into a quick introduction. If you guys have any questions, any comments, anything you want to talk about, drop it in the chat. We definitely love to hear from you and pretty much just kind of gonna update on anything, talk about what's been going on in life. Maybe ask David a couple questions about some other stuff. But yeah, so I'm Sean. I'm a C5, C6 quadriplegic from a snowboarding accident 22 years ago. David, you want to introduce yourself, man?
Yes, I'm David Washington. I'm L1, L2 incomplete paraplegic. I was injured in a car accident in '93. I was 17 years old, and yeah, still pushing.
Still pushing, yeah. Yeah, that's because I don't remember. I didn't remember you were 17 also, or not like also. Bobby was. I know was 17. I was 21 when I had my injury, but still young. But yeah, that's cool, man. So what's been going on with you, David? How's life been treating you? How's everything going?
Good. I'm in screenwriting school right now at UCLA, and I'm gonna start teaching like the Tai Chi and breathing exercises and swordsmanship. It just everything kind of happened at once, so I'm kind of like trying to balance it right now.
Sweet, dude. No, that's awesome. And I know I kind of forget now if it was this coming month in May or if it was for June. But I know the Golden Oldies ladies have you coming on to do like a meditation kind of show, right?
Yes, actually next Thursday.
It is
Dr.
next week.
Sid.
Okay, it is next week. All right, I wasn't sure if it was going to be the. I forgot. I remember reading the text, but that was. Um, but yeah, I forgot if it was a. But awesome, man. That's super cool. So make sure to check that out. And if you guys didn't catch the last episode with David on, or the couple episodes, especially where he talked about his background, his martial arts background, and meditation and breathing and all that stuff, you should check that out for sure.
But you know what? I noticed when you talk about breathing and meditation, everyone takes like the hippie Jedi approach, and they don't realize like the practical applications of just like learning to breathe to be more relaxed, more oxygenated blood, and kind of combat the tension of being in a spinal cord situation, whether you're having spasms or muscle nerve pain or whatever. It's like our bodies are always fighting.
Yeah. No, yeah, for sure, man. That is definitely. Um, Sorry, I'm getting a little AD right now. uh, but yeah, no, man, I do definitely for sure, bro. That's like the breathing. That's what the real aspect of it. Like, I want to learn more of that for sure. That's why I'm excited to hear your lesson next Thursday, and that's something I've been wanting to have you come on here to do, anyways, to talk about like the breathing and like the true application and how it can benefit our daily life of stuff. Like, yeah,
I think like being in a chair that we're so dis separated from our bodies because we have injuries depending if you're a quad or a para, but I do know that we're not sitting properly in our chairs, and I think the only time that we're kind of like in alignment is when we're like laying in bed flat. You know what I mean? Like if you're sitting in your chair, you're usually sitting in a bucket, and then the backrest is pushing at 90, so it's not like our natural sitting position. Does that
no,
make
it's
sense?
not.
And then so we're sitting like that for like what 10 plus hours a day, and then when you get out of the bed, I mean get back into bed, you're like stretching your body back out or kicking a spasm. So it's kind of like your body's always in position of like discomfort, whether it be nerve or physical.
Yeah, no, it is honestly. Yeah, that's like. Uh, I feel like I think most of us do deal with some sort of either nerve or physical pain. I know I have both. My whole body gets super like on fire and just like it just throughout the day. The later in the day I go, the longer I've been in my chair, the more my body just burns and feels like I'm like getting stabbed by hot needles everywhere. Like, but then I also have all the neck, shoulder pain. What'd you say you cut out actually?
No, no, like when you're saying that you're in the red zone, like your body's like I've been in the chair too long, I need to get out, and it's like you're blowing smoke, the red lights on, you're like beep beep beep, but you're like, I gotta get out of the chair, and yeah,
Yeah, no, I know. That's exactly, man. That's so I think that's something definitely we all deal with. It's depending. I doubt very many people are in like a super comfortable seated position in their chairs. Most of the time, you're usually, in a functional seated position. Like for me, like I have to have a deep bucket, or I will, I don't have any balance. I have no trunk like control. I'm flopping all over the place, so I have to be in that weird ass position and stretch my body.
no, that's what I'm saying. So you figure you're in an uncomfortable position, but that's how you need to function. So it's like being on a real long car trip. I tell my friends, if you're sitting in the back seat of a car on a long car trip, your legs are hurting, you want to like let blood start circulating again. Well, I say picture doing that for like 12 plus hours a day for 20, 30 plus years or more. Your body's going to have some kind of side effect to it, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I feel like obviously it definitely would have some effect on your body. I know for sure, like it does, like the your seating position, the way your body, like for me, my body naturally wants to curve to the side here, like so I do have, like I don't have like a full hard like scoliosis turn in my thing, but like my ribs stick out more on my right side than my left. Like my body has over the last 22 years somewhat shifted to where like I am constantly trying to lean this way. I'm doing like weird, I do this little fold this way where I'm like, I'm always trying to correct my body position because I know it naturally like pulls in this one direction, and I think that happens to all of us where your body
Yeah,
like
because
dysmorphs. You know what?
yes, and body imbalance because like, excuse me, one side is stronger than the other. So like I'm right side dominant. So I have more leg movement on my right than my left, and my right hip is normal. So then my body's always pulling to the right where I'm not going neutral. Where if you sit normally you're like equal on both sides, where I'm more favoring the right side.
Right, exactly. Because yeah, you have the stronger side, the more favorable side. That's exactly because that's not. I don't think. Well, I'm pretty sure I remember learning when I first had my injury. No spinal cord injuries are identical, and they're never like symmetrical. Even like it's just there's always gonna you're never gonna have like an exact like left right like
Balance.
nerve. Yeah, exact like that balance. Like your nerves are never getting sliced right at that like, exact thing for both left right. Like like they're
But in your
damaged in all different areas. They're
but
what?
in your mind you think that like okay I'm this level, so you're thinking like all right I'm C7 or I'm T5 or T12. You think you're that level, but it might be jagged or unbalanced to like what your injury is.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
technically I have a spinal cord injury, but I'm not spinal cord. I'm quadus echina.
That's right. I remember you talking about that before, and I am unfamiliar with that like that term really. I meant to try to look that up and learn more about that. But what you want to explain a little bit of what that does mean? Because I know it's because of the low injury. You're in your
Yeah,
lumbar.
yes, basically your spinal cord stops at T11. So I'm lumbar. So I'm L1, L2. If I was L3, I would be like standing. I would still probably need to use a chair for long distances, but I would be walking. So basically, your peripheral nerves of your lumbar they grow back like a millimeter only when you sleep, kind of thing, and very painful. But yeah, your spinal cord stops at T11. So I'm beyond where the spinal cord would technically be damaged, but I have spinal damage because it's in the lumbar. So I don't know if that helps.
But yeah, but essentially, but it's still cut off connection at your lumbar to going
Correct.
up past the T11 and going up into your
Correct.
spinal cord. It's for your
Correct.
body to like receive those signals correctly and be able to function. So
And
same. So it's the same thing. I mean, but it's just like, but the technicality of it, I get it.
yeah, yeah. And I just get pain. I don't get spasms. I get just pain.
Just
So my
pain.
body then feels like someone's throwing scalding hot water on my knees and hitting me with a bat, like just shocking nerve pain, just ugh. So
Is that
yeah,
pretty constant, or is that like only if something triggers it? Something.
constant.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, sleep is like if I can get a good 3 to 4 hours, that's a good night.
Wow. Yeah, no, that is a struggle, man. And I know other people like I know a friend of I know you know as well, Tommy Hollenstein. Um,
Yeah.
I talked to him. I've known him for a lot of years and stuff, and I remember always talking to him years ago. But he's the same thing. He can only sleep comfortably for 3 to 4 hours. I can think about the same kind of like time frame, and then after that, like his body, he just can't like do it.
Your
Like he
body.
gets the pain and yeah. And that's I know I'm sure that's like that for others too out there. Like you guys have, and I'm honestly so grateful that I can get a like a 7 hour night sleep, which is like more like a typical what I usually am like. Um, I try to get like around there. So, what's that?
When you sleep, is it like on your own, or are you taking like sleep aids, or just like, all right, at the end of the day, I'm sleepy. You can sleep
Um,
7.
I do get a little bit. I get tired at the end of the day. My body, my energy does for sure take a dip. Like I at some point in the night, I usually hit like this wall where I just like my brain starts to feel like I just can't even like quite process thoughts. My body starts to ache more. Everything like it's just like that end thing. So I get that, but I typically can't fall asleep without the use of cannabis. So that's what I for some, and I've tried, and I will lay there. I will doze off because I'll be exhausted, but I'll never go into like a
Deep
deeper
sleep.
sleep. Like I'll just kind of doze off for like the half hour, wake up. Doze off for maybe 40 minutes, wake up. Doze off for 10 minutes, wake up. Doze off for 20, like it's just this constant like the longest I'm sleeping is like an hour max, like and then I'm like back up, like can't sleep and I'm laying there for a while. It takes a while to fall back asleep. Um and all I do 2 hits with the vape before I go to bed. And then I also throughout the day I do kind of like a what I consider like a somewhat lower dose for me, my tolerance. But I do like a morning, afternoon, evening, bedtime edible. Like so I do 20 milligrams each time. So I just like I dose throughout the day, which levels my spasms, but that won't for some reason the edibles don't allow me to still hit that sleep because I've tried to take maybe if I took a ton of them before bed it would work, but just that little extra boost for me is what helps. And I will get a nice without the edibles I only will get like a 3 to 4 hour window where I can sleep like with the vape and I'll stay asleep. With the edibles I do it right before bed. I can sleep typically like more of like 6 7 hours before my body starts to get restless. Like before my body's like I start to get AD. I start to my legs start to like want to constantly do little just like shifts in the bed, like little tiny motions and stuff, or like kick, like they just start to move and go. So like that's kind of my limit. Like it's like at that point, like I could lay there, but I'm typically not sleeping. I'm just kind of like resting. uh, but so yeah, that's what kind of my thing is like. So, and that is what pretty much is. And when I first got injured, they had me on Ambien and stuff like that to help me sleep because I wasn't really smoking and as much like in the hospital, obviously, and then like in the immediacy. Um, but but yeah, I didn't like that.
No,
uh,
I like the fact that Trump scheduled cannabis to Schedule 3 now. So
I
it's
did
like
see
time,
that it got lowered down. Yeah,
and I'm waiting for the day where I could just get my prescription from Kaiser or whatever, and just
I
I'm not
think
buying.
that's still a ways out. But yeah, that is something that's cool because it opens up research and things like that. That is actually pretty cool to have that accessibility now for other places in the country, plus for just federal research stuff and things like that to be able to get all the like because there are so many benefits for so many different people. I feel like different and all the different things in it like the CBD, all the different you break down the compounds. um,
I think that I believe cannabis is the future, in the fact that if anyone with a spinal cord injury knows, if you take pain medication, you're going to get constipated and impacted, and you're just going to be having a bad time. It's not even worth taking it. That's just, I've come to the conclusion that you smoke cannabis, you're forced to drink water. It helps with the pain. It helps you sleep. and the side effects are pretty much minimal. As opposed to if you take one opiate, you're screwed for like 2 weeks.
Yeah. No, I know, and that's one thing I. That's why I never really like. I just I didn't have a lot of benefit from taking like opiate things like that, painkillers. Norcos is what I had prescribed for a lot of years. Um, I just never, they never benefited me more than just the cannabis would. Um, and like you said, the negative effects were way worse because then the constipation, which I already had dealt with until like some years ago when I switched to the Parastine, and then now since the last like 3 years or now with Leah helping me, like we've really got it dialed in. But like for like I'm like super good flowing, but I was pretty damn constipated for like what is that, like 17 years, about 16, 17 years. Like I would sit on the toilet, and this is no joke, like I did the magic bullet suppositories. I would sit for 3 to 4 hours. I did my bowel care originally 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And then eventually I switched to like every other day because that skipping 2 days was just too hard. Like I would be so constipated on the Monday that like my whole Monday was in the bathroom, and then I would just be exhausted and low after, because once I finally did shit it all out, once it finally came out of my system, like after like the 4 hours, like I would be like so low I could barely, like I couldn't do anything, and I would still have the chance of accidents um coming on later. I'd get that like mucus shart. And that was just a constant issue for me. So I did not. That was another reason why I was like, I don't want to do painkillers. I don't want to do opiates. I don't want to do any of those. Any of the things that I guess is already miserable as shit. So like, why would I want to add more factors that are going to make it even worse? Like that just seems
What
terrible.
what kind of therapy do you do?
What kind of what?
Therapy, like physical therapy. Do you do like range of motion, legs, arms? Like
Now?
yeah.
Or now, I stretch for like an hour every morning before getting out of bed. I do like I range of motion. I stretch my legs out. That's the first thing I do is flatten back out, for the night, stretch my hips and stuff, get my low back stretched out and lay flat for that little bit. And then I stretch each leg. And while I'm doing so, I do like range of motion, like stuff with my shoulders and arms while I'm laying. And then before bed, I'll do a little bit of a stretch, like when I'm getting my shoes off and stuff. I actually like doing that because it allows me to, like, I take like 10 minutes again to just stretch my legs real good, loosen up my hips a little bit more before I lay down. And then I make sure I lay and stay flat for a period because I know I'm going to be curled into a ball for 6 to 8 hours. um,
Okay.
and I've already been in the chair so long. So yeah, that's I don't like. And then we also do like for the last almost 3 years now, we have gone for like an hour a day of pushing exercise. Like I do not hardcore pushing, but we just like walking the dog, strolling. We used to do it at the park. Now we're just doing it all around the property or down my street. Literally, we roll right down the dirt road that we have out here. But I'm pushing on uneven dirt, through sand areas, up and down stuff. So I'm getting like an hour solid workout every day. And then now we honestly do like an hour in the morning, and then we do like another half hour to hour or sometimes before bed. Um, when the weather's nice, like we're out there a couple hours a day, just pushing. And also the other good thing about the sand out here for my workouts is I don't just push forward. I get stuck in sand all the damn time, and I have to like go back and like pull as hard as I can. I'm like going, so I'm doing back pushes, forward pushes. Like I'm getting, like I'm fully like in it,
Engage.
man. I am engaged, dude. I am like leaning. I'm pulling as hard as I can. Like I'm like, and there are a few times where I've gotten fully stuck and needed Leah to come like get me out of the sand because I took a wrong turn.
Motion wheels, correct?
I am
You
using my emotion wheels. I don't believe the company recommends those for what?
25s or 24s?
24s.
Oh, whoo,
No,
whoo.
yeah, no, 24s, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's I'm pushing 29s.
It's a big wheel.
Life's
uh,
easy, so much easier. I upgraded from 25s or 26s and 5 inch casters to 6 inch casters and 29 and a half or 700s.
yeah, man, that's a big. I that's I guess like, but you're a big dude. What?
I'm 6'7", so
Yeah, no, I get it. You're 6'7". You're a big ass dude. Like, so like, but I just feel like that's so hard to get rolling. But once you get those things rolling, you are not stopping.
like I probably could do fairly well. I don't know. I haven't taken them to the beach, so I want to see how they respond in the beach. The beach is the true test. If I can do good on the beach, then I would say yes, but I doubt it. I think in the beach I'm going to still get stunk.
Yeah, the beach sand is too deep and soft, and that's what I will hit some areas out here where it'll feel like a beach sand area where I'll go through. And there's been times Leah's come over to get me out, and my wheel is buried up over the push rim, like it's like a good 4 or 5 inches sunk
Ooh,
in, and I'm like, oh god, that can't be good for the emotion wheel. But they've been rocking, and I actually get a new set in a couple of weeks, so. Huh, we're gonna.
like a full on off road like wheelchair type thing, like
That's what I would love to get that for sure in the future. Um, what I have for now, I actually just got. You can't see it; it's quite a little bit off the. This is the front tire of it behind me, but I just got the hand cycle like Bobby has, and
yeah,
but the thing is, that would still, it's not super probably great for the sand, and like my back tires would still sink a lot. But I just got a calf grant and just ordered today. I think it went through today. I don't know when they'll ship, but like 4 inch knobby tires that the dude shows going through beach sand. Like he rolls with his cycle attachment. He uses not the cycle attachment, but he just has like a scooter attachment with a bigger
yeah.
off-road style wheel. And he's in the Florida going through the beaches, just cruising through the beach with those tires and that scooter attachment. So I hope the cycle will do as well as the scooter. But with those tires, I'm not going to sink through. Like I'll go from having 2 1 inch, like 2 inches of wheel touching the ground to 8 inches of wheel touching the ground under my butt. Plus lose the weight of the emotion wheel because I'll have the cycle on the front. So like I'll be lighter. So my butt's not sinking at least. I'm just gonna worry about that cycle wheel getting traction and pushing, pulling.
Because I was looking at the what's it, the Mike Box beach chair. Have you seen that one? It's like fluorescent orange. Has these big like 8 inch casters and then these big like inner tube type wheels. I don't know how to describe it, but it seems like it's pretty like beach savvy. I want to try that out too to see, you know.
I don't know if I've seen it. I'll have to check it out because my box does make some cool chairs, like some cool. Um,
I just want it straight for the beach. Like I want to go from the cement into the beach to the water and back on my own.
yeah, if you can, yeah, I mean that'd be pretty damn cool to be able to do. So, I, I would love to hear about it when you do it. What's that?
I'm just hoping because every time they people say they have a beach chair and you see like the beach they're on, it's like hard packed sand and it's like yeah they're at the beach but not really. I'm like I'm in LA. It's like deep, soft. I want like proof.
Yeah, no, I know. That's exactly like it's soft and deep. You definitely need some sort of pretty wide style tire, like because
Yeah,
a one, I think even like a 2 inch wide tire is probably just sinking into that. Like you need to have
like with like you
real,
know.
yeah. No, that's awesome, man. I hope it works. I hope I gotta actually check out the Mike Box one. I'll have to make a note to check that out after here. But the other one too, I was kind of looking into, and maybe in the future, um, Finch chairs. You know, Finch Adaptive, Tom Finch. He's local in SoCal here, or like a little bit more out in the desert, Central California, I think. Uh, but he makes a hiking chair that like, or he makes different hiking chairs, and he makes them
That's a,
quad friendly. Yeah, with the arm things, so you don't push
yeah.
them. It's like a ratchet pulley type system, and then it doesn't have like the two casters in the front. It has just like like my freewheel, because that's what I use when I roll out in the desert. I use the freewheel with the emotion wheels. That's what I'm rolling with. But it's like a, like a fatter than that. It's like a 3-inch wide tire on the front that's like comes out. And then it's got that pulley system is like got a little bit more leverage. So you have torque to be able to get like through hiking trails, up things, through sand, stuff like that. So that's what I was kind of looking into potentially in the future, if anything. But
Okay.
or a bowhead. If somebody wants to give me like 20 grand for a bowhead.
Are one of those? Is that the one where it's like the 4 wheel? Like what's the one Anthony has? Anthony, the 4 wheel drive off road vehicle.
Oh, that's just a side by side, I think. Like he has just like the Han or whatever. I forget which one it is, but he has like a little 2-seater, I believe, or it's a 1-seater maybe.
Four. I think it's 4-seater.
Oh, is it a 4? Okay, then it's just one of those nice side by side things, which is super cool. That would be great to have out here, but yeah, I don't know if that's anytime in the near future for us. I know Leah would love that. Leah wants just a straight quad out here, like a power, like not me quad. She wants a more functional quad, so she can get around the property a little bit. But that's what would be super cool to have. Like she wants one of those off road like badass like, and also not just to go around and do stuff, but like to drag the road, because like our road is pretty well kept, but it's a dirt road, only a quarter mile or like a third of a mile till you hit the paved road. Like so, it's not far. It's only like third of the mile there, but it does get a little sandy, and then it gets those humps in the middle where it gets like the sand pushes into the areas because everybody drives in that same center area. So there's just like the sides are super sandy in the middle, but with one of those quads, you can get like the little like a plate and drag, and it levels all that sand back out, which helps for pushing on it and driving on it. It makes it like a level, like light layer of sand versus hard packed and like 5-8 inches of sand, whatever.
Okay. Are you gonna get the how's your van holding up to the dirt road? Because I remember you said if it rains, you could lose the road, and you guys are on your own until they fix the road type situation. So how's that? What's the plan for that?
So the plan for that is to make sure I check the weather every day. I'm pretty sure Leah does too. She's pretty on top of it, like looking ahead. We're all constantly looking to make sure if there's any weather coming, and just being prepared to be able to be able to stay here for a few days if we need to, and have like all the food supplies we need. So that's the one thing. That's the one thing that we also really would like to get. And if anybody knows any grants for solar stuff, because we actually have solar panels on the roof. It had solar. It was kind of a DIY setup, I think, because like they had just basically like a whole closet of giant car batteries, that they were using, which was in the kitchen, and that wasn't fire safe. We couldn't get like our loan. Like we had to remove that before getting here. But having it, so we need a backup, like a battery that's outdoor safe, because that would be pretty much, if we had an outdoor safe battery backup for the power, we would be good, because we're actually on propane, so we don't have like our gas, our oven gas and our water heater is all based on a propane tank we have here, like a huge giant propane tank that's here. So we would be, we're not cut off. Like that stuff would be good, and as long as we didn't lose city water, then that would be a tough one. But
Okay.
but yeah, so that's our plan. Pretty much is just to be prepared and be able to stay and hunker down for a few days if the road does get washed out anywhere around where we are, to get like out of here.
Would you think about upgrading to like the trucks? Where you can like wheel in and get into like a regular 4x4 truck type situation, like for instead of
I,
your van,
no,
get to
I
like
would love to. That's what we would actually really like to be able to get, possibly like a second vehicle, or like, yeah, either like a truck that more she can drive, and then if I need to, I can get into like in an emergency, like,
yeah.
um, or even the one thing I had thought about and look and kind of try to keep an eye out is like possibly like in one of those like older Ford like Eco line, vans, because they're high profile typically, and you can put some all-terrain tires, even if it's not a 4x4. It'll still be high profile, and you can get bigger, like all-terrain tires on them. And we wouldn't even need like an actual lift or ramp. We have like a portable ramp for an emergency if we needed to. We could just put like the 5 foot, fold out. We had bought when my ramp broke on the old van we had. We actually had to use that to get in and out of the other side of the van for a couple weeks.
All right.
So that is the plan for the future. Yeah, that is.
Because we're going to have El Nino this year. They're talking about a big El Nino coming. So
I did see something about that, and that's the one thing is we are subject to to monsoons, and so there is major flash flood events that do happen and come and like we have to be worried about. And that's what one thing I'm constantly, and I know Leah's already, from before we even bought the house, she was already looking at where all the flood channels go because you can see where the water flows. And those, so for people, I'm actually really learning how to like navigate the desert ground. So if anybody's going to like a Joshua Tree or any other deserts and they want to push around and hike, let me know because I'm learning how to navigate the terrain a lot better. But you'll see where the drainage canals are super sandy. They're sandy as shit. They're deep sand because that's where all of it, all the water comes with sand. It's mud and it all just gets left there, like all the light, loose sand. So the right outside of those banks, though, are usually really hard packed, solid, like ground to push on. So like I've learned to like follow those, cross when I need to, like looking for the high ground, looking for where it is like more of like a bedrock type of like you can see the rocks in the ground where it's like they're down in there. It's like a solid thing. So yeah, that's like I'm getting pretty good at figuring out and navigating that. But we're trying to main reason too also is to make sure we divert first line behind at the very very back of the property, the 5 acre property, divert everything we can, off to the side away from where our house is, like to the open area of the property, and then again behind our fence because we have about an acre that's fenced in or so, like maybe about an acre or not fully fenced in, but it has gaps, but most of an acre fenced.
okay.
We want to also then divert there, make sure anything that made it past the first line diverts away past the like the fence before coming through the fence and under into like the yard area. And then the last line of defense is making sure anything that gets through there, it's coming, any other flood water, we want to divert off of, because we have like an opening. One cool thing about this house is it's fully flat, one level. Like you can see this right here is our front door actually. And it rolls straight out to the patio. This is all flat. The patio wraps around to the back even, all one flat, nice level patio, no thresholds on either side. But there's like a curb around most of the house, which I think is for Leah, like thought for it was to probably because to help with floodwaters coming, hitting the house. But I swear to God, they had to have been in a wheelchair or something because there's one opening on the back and one opening on the side. It's literally like a ramp opening. Like they curbed it out. They made a ramp down to the sand from the patio. So I have a ramp exit on the back, a ramp exit on the side, and a large ramp exit on the front here that goes all level to the sand. But that ramp is open and you can tell floodwater comes right into that vicinity. So like we want to make sure that it's not getting, because that's the one spot that it would be able to get into the patio and the back door is right behind it. So like we gotta make sure to divert any water to go around there and then around the house, because we don't obviously want to have any other like issues with water getting in the house, with foundation, in the future, any of that kind of stuff that people deal with. Like,
Guys, have your hands.
nice have what?
Guys, have your hands full.
Yeah, no, we do. That's what it really is. That's why it's been so much for Leah, especially to do, because like I can't help with a lot physically, so I'll do everything I can, looking stuff up, finding stuff, getting us some stuff, like whatever I can do to help. But the physical parts of it, like she's kind of having to do a lot of work. So that's why, and that's like heavy work. That's not, first it was a lot of cleaning. That's like heavy. That's not like lightly digging in the garden. Like that's like digging trenches and like fucking setting cinder blocks.
Oh, you guys are going to get tested this winter because El Nino is here. So yeah, I would get the handyman out and start digging the trenches and yeah, start laying your battlefield now. They say build trench after trench.
And that's what, and you know what's cool actually? I don't know if it was the original owners, whoever did this, but they actually built like a 2, 3 foot deep trench at the back of the property that runs along the property and then turns and goes down the side of the property, like the far end of it. So somebody at that point was already trying to build like a canal to catch. So we have that, and it's been filled in with sand a lot. So we have to kind of maybe like fortify it a little bit better, make it work a little better. But there already is, so like they had thought of it a little bit originally. So like it is, it started. We don't have to start from complete scratch. We actually already have a base trench somewhat dug back there. So
Oh, okay. No worries. As long
yeah,
as you guys are ahead, I trust you. You know, the spinal cord visionaries. We see trouble before it comes and we act accordingly.
yeah. No, I know. That's what I'm trying to be a lot more on top of that. I've always kind of been a little bit of like, it'll work out type of guy. It'll be fine. Yeah, things it'll be okay. Which Leah is much more of a planner and like a make sure like plan, prepare, be ready.
Or
So
me,
I what
have a plan. Like, yeah,
yeah, no, I get it. It's so much more helpful. It is. It's to have a plan, not just for this, but anything like in our lives, especially with disability stuff. Like, you got to have like plans and some sort of future, uh, you know, sight. You can't just be living in that moment.
true, true. Do you have a go back?
We don't actually. We have somewhat of a go bag, but I never really did my part to complete the full go bag, which I need to. But we somewhat put a basic bag together with a few supplies. And I think Leah has a little bit more of one that she has.
I'm
And
just saying.
she helped me get mine ready, but I am supposed to still get a few other things and get on top of it. And that's something, thank you for reminding me. I'm going to get on that.
No, only because like when I was in Silmar when we had the fires, I woke up one morning and the sheriff was like, "You got 10 minutes to leave." I looked outside, I saw the fire, and all I did was grab a bag full of catheters and broke. Took my dogs and broke. And then we were able to come back a few hours later, and then I was like, "All right, I'm making a go bag." So I made a bag full of like all my medical supplies. That if anything happens, I just grab this bag and it has plenty of medical supplies in it.
Right. That's the main thing you're going to need. Just grab your medical supplies. Like
You can't
everything else.
buy that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You're gonna spend $200 for like 3 catheters or something.
No,
So
I know.
yeah,
That's what you'd be screwed without that stuff. You can get other stuff, like if you need clothes, you can't bring all that kind of stuff. You can get that stuff if you need to. That stuff will be not as hard to get as your medical supplies. That's going to be the one main one. And Leah does says yes, we sure do. I just don't. I know we have a bag because we for the metal for um we did our first like emergency preparedness show a few years ago from Leah's suggestion because she was like, "Wait, you don't have a prepare? You don't have a go bag?" She's like, "You don't have prepared." So I was like, "That's a good idea." So we did a show and I did make one. Like as part of that, I wanted to make sure I made one, because like so I could share. Um, so I have a basic one, like I said, but I feel like I need to really add some
like
stuff.
I have like the main one with like leg bag, drainage bag, catheters, all that kind of stuff, and then I have a smaller one with like my medications and stuff. So I know 2 bags I can grab my medication and medical stuff. Like anything is clothes is what I got on because I know you can always get clothes, whatever, whatever. But as far as like medicine and catheters and stuff, totally different. You'll break the bank because I was injured in '93 and then a year later, '94, the earthquakes happened, and I think my mom bought like maybe 5 condom catheters or some crazy mess like that. It was like over 100 something bucks.
Whoa.
Yeah, this was like in '94, so it's been a while. But it was during the I didn't have enough supplies, and so she had to go to like one of those medical supplies places and just buy like, you know, out the door kind of thing, and it was way more expensive. And that always stuck with me. It was like, all right, keep supplies.
Yeah. No, I know, man. That's like it's really important. I think people don't realize that. I know I did not really think about that, realize that. I just kind of again just kind of had that like, yeah, it'll be fine. It'll work out. like but and luckily, I guess for my own health and safety, luckily I never did have like a super major emergency like that. I think the only time I had to go anywhere like middle of the night type of emergency or anything like that is um, a few years back or more than that, some years back when I did get the Botox injections for my bladder to stop the,
Yeah,
and then my catheter clogged up in the night, and then nothing would exit my body through the night. That was the only time I ended up having to go like to an emergency room like in the middle of the night because and that was and if I would have been prepared and had a backup catheter supply, I didn't have any extra catheters at all. So
yeah.
I couldn't even have a friend, a nurse, a family. I couldn't have any, even if I wanted to, I couldn't have gotten help. So I thought if I went to the emergency room, they might have one. And they didn't have one until the next morning. So like I just had to lay there while they catheterized me every few hours so I didn't get AD and like have a stroke. And then, so if I would have had supplies, even not even in a go bag, just had extras. That's the other thing is like
Yeah.
now I think right now, if I were to know I had no backup catheters, I would probably have a little bit of an anxiety panic attack now.
Yeah. Are
uh,
you sure?
so I'm 43. Yeah, so I'm
Yeah, I turned 50. I'm 50. I'll be 51 this year. So yeah.
nice. Yeah, I'll be 44 at the end of this year. So that's getting up there. And I got injured at 21. So like that's what I feel like I wasn't that responsible and mature when I got injured. I was only like a couple months after turning 21, and then I never really I just kind of got stuck there in that mentality of like like
I do believe we get stuck where we got injured. I still feel like a teenager in some ways, and then some ways I don't. You know what I mean? Like you kind of keep the spirit that you had when you got injured somehow. I don't know. I kind of feel that way.
yeah, no, for sure. It's like uh yeah. Sorry, I was gonna check too some of these. The chat's going wild. I can't. I missed most of what you guys were saying in there. um, but
Yeah,
I appreciate everybody's activity in there. I do. I do really appreciate that. And yeah. Oh, I just saw that Leland said we should have a whole show on this. And yes, we do want to have more emergency prep shows. And
are you gonna throw a barbecue at your place? So you guys got like 5 acres in the desert. It's gonna be like Sean and Leah Desert Rom whatever 2027. I don't know.
I don't know about that, but we'll see. That's so the one thing that Leah had talked about, mentioned, and we would love to be able to do is to like on the other like more open lot of property that we have over there, all the open like acreage, um, make like a little bit of like a camp area, like have somewhat of a like outdoor accessible restroom,
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
have like some like a table and stuff like that, like so people could like eat. And then if you can just you want to bring tents or a camper or whatever and park and do it, like but make it accessible so like a little bit of a wheelchair, Joshua Tree escape. We definitely don't have like the funds to build something like wild or anything like that, but hey, we could have a basic camping site possibly. But I don't
Okay.
know about having a bunch of people over. People, the how much work it's taken to clean up this property, like like the amount of glass that Leah has picked up from the property is incredible. Like she's literally filling up like buckets of glass shards, like
Ooh.
and they're everywhere, and they're not just on our property. They're all over the desert, but like on our property for sure. And I know some of them have been accumulating there for years. Like decades. Like, they just stay and settle in, and then they'll be also they get pushed down and stuff with the flood. So then they'll catch like near where rocks are. So there'll be like piles of glass in areas like where they've kind of all caught. But that's the one thing is like I don't want people, nobody like no cigarette butts, no glass broken, like like keep this shit clean. We're a clean desert area.
Yeah, that
Uh,
must be. But then also you're getting stuff from the desert, also from the winds and everything. So it's basically a constant struggle. You have to keep the
Yeah.
glass
Oh,
and all.
that's the thing. Constant struggle. There's wind blowing shit all the time. And I don't know if you were on when I mentioned this last time. So when before we moved here on Google Maps and stuff, I thought we had like a solar farm behind us, like maybe like a 1 to 2 acre solar farm, because it's just this giant black rectangle, like blocked out. And there's another solar farm that's like half a mile away. So I was like, oh, it must be like a small section of a solar farm where they're building more. No, it turns out, because Lee actually made it back there, it turns out it was actually an illegal grow from back in the day, like over an acre in size. And it's dug down like 5 feet into the ground. And then there's a dirt mound around the outside of it. So it's buried completely. They have like 8 foot posts and like, what's it called? Shade cloth over the top because it's really hot, like the direct sun was too much. And they literally, that's why it looks black on the Google Maps. It just looks like a tiny black or a huge black box.
Yeah.
But the thing with that is, when the cops raided it or whatever, it was back in 2021. We looked up some news articles. When we found some news articles, like maybe not in the specific one, but there was a bunch in the area in that 2021. They didn't clean up any of the trash. So there's bags of fertilizer constantly, like they're empty. It's all just empty trash. But that shit's constantly getting blown onto our property now. Like Leo will pick them up, throw it away. Like next time we have a high wind event, like the other day we had 40 miles an hour, 48-mile-an-hour gusts, it said. But like sustained like 28 to 30-mile-an-hour winds. So that shit moves stuff. Like, and all that shit just ends up here. Like there's bottles, there's all kinds of shit, trash, debris that's blowing from that thing, which sucks because it's directly behind our property. So like until we clean that whole thing up, like, and that's what we're gonna maybe try to call the city and see like, or the county, see if there's like anything they can do for picking up the trash, like, or doing anything. Uh,
Yeah.
but yeah, so that's the constant pain of it is just nonstop more trash and debris. Oh yeah, she got free firewood for building or free or wire and wood for building. Yeah, she's been scavenging some of the metal wire they had there and like some other stuff. We're gonna be able to use it. So.
Yeah, scavenge it first and then call it in.
Right, that's exactly. Scavenge what we can. Yeah, and what's funny is scavenging out here is very common because there's a burnt out RV at the corner. So when we first came to look at the house, it was just an RV somebody dumped at the corner. When we came back like a month later for like our walkthrough stuff, it had been burnt to the ground and it was like a fiery, just a black charred van camper that's left. But we've
Yeah.
seen people salvaging now still burnt out up in it, scavenging and salvaging shit out of the burnt remains. I'm like, man, people they don't care. So how did they not empty that thing? But I don't know.
Will you put like a big fence around your property or something, or is that
Eventually, we would love to have it fully fenced in, or at the very least, like a tree line, or use like like a large like wind catching bush and privacy bush, like something to line the thing, like that for privacy and wind and trash debris, stuff like that would get caught in stuff like that. But fencing is expensive. I'm not sure how much it would cost us to do 5 acres, but I think it would be a fair amount. So in the front here, what's kind of cool about this house, like And I'm sure they did it when it was original in 1953. This house is like old, it's an older house. Is the original homestead. It was made in 53. Um, so the front wall, our front fence, and then like a little bit of a divider. Like they did the front, and they did about 100, 150 feet back on either side. Um, are railroad ties vertically pushed into the ground. So they're buried like 2 feet into the ground. So there's like 6 foot railroad. It's just like a wall of railroad ties. It's solid. Whoever did it back in the 50s, that's what they made the original front wall with. And then there's like chain link fence, like a ranch gate for us to come in and stuff in other areas. And then the next owners before us put some nicer wood fencing in the back section and like about 100, maybe 150 feet from the back. But in between those two, there's like 100 or so 100 feet of open gap. So there's just like, but that's how we get to the second part, the other part of the property. So it's kind of just works. I don't know. It's nice, man.
No, I like the idea of having 5 acres. It sounds like just like I'm on my own land. Like get off. You know what I mean? Just King's Castle type feeling.
Yeah, no, it is. It's like, it's wild because like we honestly got really lucky with this property because, like I said, we're only a third of a mile off like a paved main road. We're like 8 minutes from a Stater Brothers or a few fast food places and things like that if we needed to get stuff like that, which we honestly don't really do any of the fast food since we've been here. We've just been just cooking pretty much only because it's just so much nicer. And we have to save money. uh, but uh, but yeah, we're that far off. We have a neighbor, like, so right behind me, you can kind of maybe see like this little, there is fence right there. That's a neighbor.
Yeah.
We have a house right next to us. Like we have our neighbor, they're right next to our house. Like, but it's fenced. You can't really see them. They have privacy stuff and fence and like, and trees and things like that. Um, and then besides them, there's no one else really around us. The next closest dwelling is like literally like a tiny 10 by 10 like homestead shed, or maybe it's a little bigger than that. It's no bigger than 20 by 20 for sure. It's a box. And that's literally like like almost a half mile away. I feel like it's like it's a minute away. So we have one nice neighbor who's there. They're close. We have other neighbors that do drive by the road. We're starting to get to know people. Like, you know, we see them. They look, they wave and stuff. Like we're getting to know. Like the other people that live down the road, like because the dirt road does go farther. Um, but like it's beautiful. So we have neighbors. We have people close in an emergency. We have people like around watching. You know, like keep an eye on things if we need and stuff like that. But we also have like the quiet and nobody else around in the other areas. And across the little street from us, there's nothing. There's no proper that side of the street doesn't have any dwellings or houses. It's just like 50 acres of open desert. Like, so I haven't been through that area much exploring. I haven't. I'm hoping when I get the wheels, I can maybe go on that side. Leah goes over there with the dog, and they go away picking up trash all over that whole area. They've literally been going through everywhere. But yeah, dude, it's so quiet and nice, and like, but we do have all the other conveniences close enough, like right by us. You know, like the only thing we get regular packages, even Walmart delivery, no problem. DoorDash, all that kind of stuff if we need it. Like, which also does deliver like Aldi and stuff like that, which is cool when you need groceries. And but uh, but like yeah, we have all those things, but we like also have like all the quiet and like the away from everything. You know, like we have
Grid type of
yeah,
situation.
like it's like almost off the grid, but it's not because we do have water and power, city and stuff. But that's why we do want to be able to be somewhat off the grid with uh, getting like a solar backup battery to have. And originally, this house was off the grid. We have a giant water tower in the back of the house property. It was originally on hauled water, so that's kind of part of the aesthetic. It's really cool and beautiful. And Leah had just found, and we saw that's original from 1953 because in one of the concrete blocks that the legs are like, you know, like the foundation for it, because like it's
Yeah.
legit. It's like they actually carved. There's two initials in it, two people's initials, and 1953. So the original owner is like Leah just found it. She like cleaning off like some of the dirt and debris around that area. Um, so it's super cool. We have this like really cool water tower, which is non-functional now, but actually is the home to two owls. We have like a pair of owls that live in it and come out every night. So it's badass. It's like,
He says, yeah, cool.
yeah, no, it's cool.
Are you ready for summer? Are you ready for the heat?
That's the one thing that's going to be tough. But one other note, also, I want to shout out to SoCal Edison. I know they got a bunch of shit with their lawsuits and stuff right now from the fires and things. But on Friday, they're coming out to install a free swamp cooler for us. They're giving us a swamp cooler. And out here in the hot, dry desert heat, the swamp cooler is going to be, I'm going to love the swamp cooler. It's beautiful. And in 2 more weeks, they're coming to replace, the house has two mini split AC heaters. They're replacing both of those as well. Like I thought they were going to service them, but they're just full on giving us new units. So we're getting, before the summer, we should have a brand new swamp cooler and two brand new AC mini split units. So B-Rock, like we should be okay for managing and staying outdoors will be rough. But again, we have 3/4 of the house. This whole behind me patio is all covered patio. So like at least we have shade and covered patio outside. I can roll out no matter where the sun is, there's at least one area where it's shaded and like, because of how it's set up. Like if it's, morning, the back shaded, the night, the front's all shaded, the side gets shaded for a lot of the midday. So it's great. So that's the one thing that will be rough, but we're planning for it. We're ready. The other thing
Good.
Leah says she wants to start. We try to get up pretty early, which I have not been. We try to usually get up at like 5, but I've been getting up more like 6 because we've been going to bed kind of later, just because the night's really nice to enjoy. It's been beautiful out here, like the sunsets and the night. So we're just kind of wrapping up stuff later. But she wants talking about getting up at 3:30 in the morning in the
Oh,
summer so that we
oh
can
yeah,
get out, go exercise, do our thing, and then like come back and maybe take a midday nap break when it's that like peak 100-degree
yeah,
temperature
yeah.
and
That's
then
actually
go back out.
that's smart. Do all your stuff while it's cool.
Yeah, yeah, right. That's because if do it while the sun's coming up, maybe do like a sunset, sunrise and sunset, but like crash for the day when the heat part. The other cool thing about this house too is it's split. I'm in like the living room right now, which we don't have any furniture yet, but we got this is our living room and our kitchen, and then there's a doorway that blocks off like an entry little area to the two bedrooms and the bathroom. But each side has the mini split, so you can actually only to save power and stuff. We could go into our bedroom, shut the hall door, keep this mini split off, and just turn the one in our that section of the house on, and only cool that half of the house. So it's kind of a
Oh,
cool design. So you can cool one half, like it's zoned into two halves, and each mini split is on each side. So heat or cool, you can split. You close the door, and it splits. Where like the space that it has to cover. We don't have to have them both on all the time. So another cool idea for people living in the summer or living in desert areas.
intense. But I think you guys try to have like the best mornings and the best evenings because it's like beautiful, it's quiet, it's cool.
Yeah,
You got
no, I think they will be. What?
coyotes.
So we haven't seen any coyotes yet, actually. I know they're in the area. They have to be for sure in the area. But right where we are, we haven't seen any, and which is disappointing for the dog because the dog thinks he's a coyote, and like he doesn't bark at them like he does other dogs. He cries to them like he wants to join their pack. When we have seen coyotes, he wants to.
It's a setup. Don't know. It's a
Yeah.
setup.
I know.
You,
That's all. I'm like, don't. Oh no, he's never going to be allowed. But the one thing. So what we do have. Oops. We haven't seen any of those, but we have little cottontail bunnies that live like in like behind the little um, railroad ties, like in between our two fences from the neighbor's fence and our fence.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and then we have little ground squirrels that are running around that are out here. The one, but I would love to see. I would honestly love to see a coyote or a jackrabbit. I saw the jackrabbits when we were in Joshua Tree, and those things are so damn cool. They're massive freaking rabbits. They're fast and. uh, but yeah, so that's our main, at least at the house. And then we have a ton of birds. We have the owls that live in our thing, and then we have multiple finch nests up under our, and there are little tiny chick babies up there under the patio right now. So we have plenty of like animals, like bird watching and stuff to do. uh,
The gun territory.
yeah.
I don't know. I had a BB gun when I was younger, so I'm thinking of like shooting lizards and all that kind of stuff. Forgive me.
Oh no, that's what. Well, that the lizards too. The lizards are fast as hell, but that's the dog's domain. He every single day now he is out there checking all the bushes and trying to chase these lizards. But they are fast and they run across the desert and dive into holes. He has not been successful outside yet. But one got inside and into the bathroom, and he did rip that guy apart. So. Yeah, he really ripped that dude apart. Usually he'll just kind of kill him. He used to at the old house, but I think this one must have bit him because it was aggressive. Like when it came in, it was like
Yeah.
they're a little different breed out here in the desert. They don't mess around. They don't go down without a fight. And yeah, that's like he ripped that thing apart. So and Leah made a joke in there. I traded bongs for bird feeders because we just got a hummingbird feeder out there, and that's my yeah. I don't have a bong anymore, but we
You need
need
a
to.
ball, the survival tool.
Yeah, that's in case of backup. I have in case of backup because I use my Stizzy. That's just what I use. But I am down to my last one, and I have to figure out how to order them cheaply out here. But I do have a little bit of. I think I still have a little bit of flour left. I'm pretty sure I saved some of the thing, and a little bit of concentrate like wax, and then a small chillum. So if I really like needed to for some reason something, and I just needed to get to sleep, needed the relief of it, then I do have somewhat of an emergency backup.
Right on. Right on.
Uh,
I, it's almost 5 o'clock. What time? What time is this
Holy
over?
shit. It was over already. So I guess I talked too damn much. I kept talking. Yeah, we're already past the time. So I guess Bobby got a little bit busy and caught up with stuff, but that's all right. Um, Thanks for hanging out with
I,
me, David.
Mike Lee wants to be on the show too. He always talks about doing it again.
Well, maybe Mike wants to come. I'll text him after this because we're doing like a bonus one on Thursday. Another because it's a fifth Thursday of the month, and we don't
Yeah,
have
yeah.
Rolling Over the Hill or one of the ladies shows, the Golden Oldies. So we're doing a bonus one. So maybe Mike wants to join it. Maybe I'll even text to see if you want to come back. I'll see. I hopefully Bobby will maybe be up for it, but
Bobby, okay?
yeah, he's okay. But he announced it on the show, so I don't feel that this is sharing anything. But his dad passed last week or last weekend.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
so he's been going through a lot with that, and then they also have a lot of other complications and things as well that he's dealing with, just other family matters that he's been trying to juggle as well. But yeah, his dad just passed away. So for anybody, and then real quick, I'm gonna start to wrap up the show here. But I wanted to shout out if anybody wants to wish Leah a happy birthday. Tomorrow is her birthday. I'm calling her, and I don't think she likes me. The public stuff of that. But yeah, tomorrow's Leah's birthday. I wish her a happy birthday if anybody wants to, real quick, while I'm wrapping the show up. Uh, and thanks, Daryl, Gary Wolf. And I got your email. I'm pretty sure it was your email. I have to email you back, and I'm sorry. I will get back to you. Um, but yeah, man. Thanks, Leland. Everybody in the chat. Like I said, I kind of lost track of a lot of the chat. So if I didn't mention or see something, you guys, I am sorry. But when it's just more of a conversation, like where I'm just hanging out talking to you, David, like it's just it's hard to do that too. That's why it's nice having like the other somebody else to help with the conversation and talk more. But I was
You guys need more
rambling. What? What'd you say at the
para.
end?
We need more para influences. We have too many quads. We need some paraplegics in there to represent.
That is
No,
fair. That no, I
the over the hill has a para. I take that back. My bad.
Over the Hill has a para, and then the Golden Oldies have a para. So Julian is a para, and then Robert Soto is a para. But yeah, we do need to get more para representation on the Tuesdays here. So I appreciate you representing today.
Yeah.
But that's what, yeah, no, that is honestly, we do want to get some more representation for sure. And that's what I also would love to get more diversity and disabilities as well. Since like besides Julianne, I think everybody else is a spinal cord injury that we have on the channel. So if we get some spina bifida people, some CP, which I know we have in the chat. So let me see here. Just trying to highlight the happy birthday ones real quick before we wrap up. What did they say? Incomplete quad that can sometimes cosplay as a parrot. Oh yeah, that's Leland, living and active in the chat. He's just one of the super high functioning quads that has a little bit like just less limitation in the upper body. At least sometimes, because I know he has different nerve disorder things, so it actually affects him more on some days. All right. I think that was it. Everybody in the chat. And yeah, definitely get some more para representatives representation.
Please.
And yeah, I know for next week, actually, just to shout out, because we actually do have next week planned. Next week, we're actually talking colostomies. And we have two Kens coming to join us. Ken that's in the chat all the time from out here, and then another Ken that messaged us as well, and then I think Bobby as well. So we'll have a colostomy show next week if you guys want to talk, get any information on that. So that is coming up. And then Thursday, like I said, we have a bonus show. I don't have banners for either one of those. So Thursday we do have our bonus show, which I might put a topic on, but right now I'm not 100% sure if we'll just do the open Q&A or what to do. And then real quick also, we wrap up, let me shout out our sponsors. Thank you to our sponsors, Mobility Professionals and Urology Professionals. Mobility Professionals is a local DME for Southern California. So if you live anywhere in the Southern California area, even all the way down to San Diego to like, I believe all the way into Central California, they do service the whole area, and they will come to you, measure you up, deliver your chair, all that stuff, take care of everything with insurance. So give them a call. If they can take your insurance, that is. Obviously not all companies can do them all. But give them a call. They're great supporters of Live to Roll, of the disability community. And a couple of our friends that are in chairs, Dean and Anthony, do also work for them as well. So we have representation there. And then Urology Professionals is their sister company. They're nationwide. So anywhere in the country, if you do need catheter supplies, they can ship your catheter supplies directly to your doorstep. And again, give them a call. They can take care of your insurance, switch everything with your doctor, get everything set up, so you don't have to do any of the leg work, since our legs aren't that functional. But yeah, give them a call. Information's all down below in the description, so check them out. We appreciate their support. All right, heck yeah, David. Thanks again, man, for joining and hanging out.
It was a pleasure.
I think there was a bunch of questions and stuff in the chat. Sorry I didn't get to everything, you guys. I will try to get back. I was just half trying to scroll through. I know there was a ton, but appreciate you guys' activity in the chat. Next time, I'll make sure to do a better job of following when I can. But I do appreciate everybody's support. Thank you guys. If you're not subscribed, click that subscribe button. Click the little bell if you want the notifications for when shows are coming up. And like John says here, keep rolling, rolling, rolling. All right. Live to roll, everybody. Appreciate you guys hanging out with us. See you next time.